15 on the grid. ASB1000 CC season is underway, and what a move on the inside. As that Lachlan Epis has made a phenomenal start, and he's overtaken everybody. Hafiz Syahrin holds on, but what a move that was from Lachlan Epis.
Fantastic start from P6 on the grid, now in P2, and the rider with his sights on the leading Ducati of Hafiz Syahrin. What can Hafiz do in these early stages? Surely his plan is to escape, put some distance, put a safety margin between him and the others.
And I think having Epis in there might help Hafiz Syahrin. He had so many difficulties last year, so many races where he thought he was going to blow the opposition apart and something would happen. He was blocked or he took taken out, took the title in the end. Behind them, Adnan Chaputra has made a decent start, and Andy Farid is the heart. Where's Andy Farid? P5?
Yeah, I think he's in P5. Nakarin has made a good start after a bit of a struggle weekend. He's up into 4th.
Kito Abe is the real loser of all of that. P2 he was on the grid. He's down in P6 is the Japanese.
Hafiz got a few bike lengths between him and Lachlan. Good work from Lachlan. He's got Zakwan sizing him up behind, but Lachlan's pace is good at this stage.
You do think that he might be holding up people behind him, because Hafiz Syahrin ahead of him has been able to pull out quite a few bike lengths. This is a really strong opening lap of 14 for Hafiz Syahrin Abdullah for JDT Racing. And they reckon on the straights, that's where the real grunt power of this Ducati shows.
Yeah, Kito Abe and Zakwan in particular are going to be desperate to get Hafiz Syahrin in their sights before he clears off too far at the front.
Oh, it's a heck of a lead. The advantage at the end of lap 1, 1.2 seconds. Zakwan in P3 and Nakarin and Abe are desperately trying to make up some ground. Also, Azroy Hakim Anwar, it's not been great for Andy Farid. He's going to have to come from a long way back, is Farid, because he's in P9 at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, perhaps getting used to the launch technique for the Ducati Panigale. But perfect so far for his teammate. There goes Zakwan Zaidi inside of Lachlan Epis.
Well, they need to make a move, and that's what he's done there. Lachlan is doing his best just to block him off.
Yeah, he's going to have to fight for it, that's for sure. The combative Australian currently in P2.
He's on the BMW. There's a bit of power there. We have had BMW champion not so long ago, and there's plenty of power on the BM as well. And he's holding them off, but also holding them up at the same time, I would reckon, Barry Russell.
Yeah, and Kito and Zakwan both get through. Lachlan's not done yet.
The Hafiz has got a 1.7 second. It's almost like a free gift, 1.7 seconds. As Lachlan has Chip Nakarin and Azroy Hakim also behind him, and Adam Noradin. But what a start, an exhilarating start coming in from Lachlan Epis.
Yeah, let's see how he can hold it during the race. You can see the determination. Some genuine Aussie grit. He has moved to Andorra, but he hasn't gone soft in the process. Lachlan Epis.
Let's see what the procession has. Nakarin in P5, not being able to make the move behind Epis. Neither. So goes through. The lead was 1.2 seconds. It's 2.4 seconds. Hafiz not only has the big lead, has the fastest lap, a full second faster than anybody else at 2:05.6.
Yeah.
I suspect he might be another million rand richer at the end of today.
Well, if I were Hafiz, I would have bet on myself to try and make myself a little bit richer, but look at that gap. We've got 2 races now, one at the front, which is Hafiz competing with himself, and everybody else.
Again, is Lachlan holding up Nakarin? Is he holding up Azroy? Is Andy Farid able to make any kind of a move? The answer so far for Andy Farid is he's had a poor start and not been able to recover.
Yeah, in terms of pace, I think the positions now are fair. Hafiz untouchable, but then you've got Quito and Zakwan, and then Lachlan, who is earning that spot in P4.
Absolutely. He's not looked under particular pressure from Nakarin Atirapuvapat. Lead has gone up by another 1/10 of a second. Sector 2, Hafiz quick. Hafiz quicker than everybody else through Sector 2. So he's not only just consolidating his lead, he's increasing his lead. Blown them away in these early stages.
Yeah, and in this early stage, just looking at the rookies, Adananta just lost P9 to Andy.
Oh, and over goes Lachlan Epis.
Swift Grow BMW lands on the grass, and Lachlan is winded, but I think otherwise okay.
A nasty tumble.
That's an unfortunate exit for Lachlan.
Well, the stretcher is out.
Yeah, the medic's really quick here, but I think Lachlan's okay, but over the high side he goes. Oh.
Just turning into the hairpin at the end of the long straight. Hafiz, his lead, incidentally, increased by another 4/10 of a second from Arbe Zakwan. Azroy Hakim got the better of Chip Nakarin. Adananta Putra 6 seconds in. We've still got a long way to go. It's a mighty convincing lead, but there is still a chunk of time still to go. And if Arbe and Zakwan can work together, and Azroy and Nakarin can maybe just manipulate a way in which they can get closer to Hafiz with 2 or so laps to go, you never know.
Yeah, in terms of lap times, the gap is about 0.3 of a second. Hafiz is lapping faster. I'm really not sure what Quito and Zakwan can do about that. The important thing is, at the moment, they're not scrapping.
Zakwan's not close enough to scrap with Quito Arbe at the moment. Arbe is such a fine competitor. He's at full pace, and Hafiz looking supremely confident. Winning the title last year will have just made him so much more relaxed, you sense. The pressure for JDT was immense last year. Now there's an expectation, not a hope, that they'll win. And the lead is gone up to 3 seconds.
3 seconds in 4 laps.
Further down, Anthony West has got ahead of Kazuki Watanabe and Rocco Sessler. Joe Francis just goes through. 18 seconds adrift.
Yeah, the Yamaha's doing what they can. Rocco in the process of discovering what it's like to be in this ASB1000 field in a race.
Okay, Andy Farid's beginning to make a little bit of progress. Again, well, very early in the race. We're only 4 laps in. We're not even a third of the way through. There's the Suzuki of Adam Noradin, helped by Adananta. I know you're a big fan of Adananta.
Yeah, Adananta, this has been a good debut for him. His pace has been good, but he really should put himself in front of that Suzuki. Adam Noradin is a great rider, but the Astra Honda is a much quicker machine than the Suzuki.
Bike 88 in 8th, for now. Adam Norridin, like 77 in 7th. There's a certain sequence numbering.
Good pattern recognition, Des.
Yeah. But it's difficult. He's not been able to make any real headway. Behind then, there is the battle for P7. Andy Farid in front of them is trying to close in on the two Hondas. In the meantime, Hafiz continues, I won't say his serene lead because it's a powerful lead. It's an energetic high lead. Going on the inside, is this the move? Yep.
He should be able to hold this, he really should, because that machine is much quicker. He had the momentum going down into the braking zone. He should be able to hold this lead over Adam Norridin. Adam Norridin, of course, is never going to give up. We're hoping to see that Suzuki in 4 out of 6 rounds this year. And we're also hoping, Suzuki, if you're listening, that you're going to send them some nice new parts.
Norridin will battle and scrap as much as he possibly can. The lead is up to 3.4 seconds. It's growing each lap. Last lap, 2:05.87 from Hafiz was 0.4 quicker than Kito Abe in P2. 27 is Andy Farid. He's beginning to put better lap times. He's just put in a 2:06.2. Now that's a little bit disturbing for everybody else because that means he'll be catching up on the Hondas of Nakarin and Ajroy Hakim.
Yeah, well, we would expect that from Andy. He's 7 seconds behind, no, almost 8 seconds behind Hafiz. So Hafiz is gone. But he's got a better than even chance of making his way up to P4, I would say. And that would be a good debut.
Yes, still plenty of time as well.
After
making this kind of a procession, a high-speed procession, and a procession with a lot of distance between 1 and 2. But he's continuing to lap nicely. He's the first one inside 2:05.
Yeah, his consistency is really, really good.
Another inside the 2:06 mark, 2:05.860. Again, 0.5 quicker. He's up to 3.9 seconds clear.
Yeah, and the best of the rest is his Ducati teammate. 2:06.055. So the alarm bells will soon be sounding for the riders in front of him.
Abe in isolation in P2.
Ajroy, after a difficult weekend, is holding on to P4 pretty well currently. Syahrin doing as much as he can, but he hasn't quite got the pace of the SDG Hawk Pro Honda in front of him, with Kito Abe.
There is such a gap between the individual athletes. There's no real racing going on. It's mind over matter. It's just focus on fast lap times, hit your split times, hit your marks. There's no racing to actually do. There's just make sure you're as fast as you possibly can be.
It's the mark of quality when somebody can make doing what Hafiz is currently doing look easy.
Metronomic.
Yeah, that pace in the late 2:05s, really, really consistent. And about 0.4 of a second better than everybody else every time around. So the gap now approaching 4 seconds, probably is at 4 seconds right now.
Well, Johor fans will be happy as he comes over the start-finish line. And that lead is, as you suggested, 4 seconds on the dot. You're 200s out, Barry Russell.
Apologies. Quito was... Oh, Hafiz was a little slower that time around. He dipped into the 206s, tut-tut. And he was just a tenth, or less than a tenth quicker than Quito Abe. So, Quito not giving up the chase. He's such a determined racer. And he knows there's a long way to go yet.
Yeah, halfway. Zakon Zaidi, again, will just try to be as metronomic as he possibly can. He's in the high 206s.
Yeah, he knows how to put together a solid season.
Behind him, Mazroi Hakim. It's been a good day for the Idemitsu Honda team.
Yeah, him and Helmi and 600s have really overcome what has been some quite a few problems in the Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia fleet.
Andy Farid has got the better of Chip Nakarim and has Azroi Hakim in his sights. Well, you said fourth is possible, stroke likely for Andy Farid. Fourth is within his sights. And then you wonder whether or not he's good enough to catch up with Zakon. 3 seconds he's got to make up in 7 laps.
Well, let's take a look at that. Last time around was 206.2 for Andy. And Zakwan was 206.8.
Half a second a lap, more than half a second a lap.
So it's doable.
Yeah. There's the challenge. Slides around. You know, I was worried that he'd struggle with the Ducati and particularly that power on the real wheel, but he looks like he's got that right under control. It was just the start that put him in such a bad situation. He went from P4 to P9.
Yeah, that's just an issue with launching that Panigale. But he's doing what we know he does better than anybody in this field, with the possible exception of Anthony West, is coming strong later in the race.
You just mentioned Anthony West. He's in a little battle with the Aprilia of Kazuki Watanabe. Watanabe leading that particular battle by 0.7 of a second. Yes, we'll focus on Andy Farid. Ducati debut.
Yep.
Was the big news in the ASB1000 in the pre-season.
Yeah, they kept it a secret for a long time.
Well, there was talk they were going to Europe, and Andy Farid then turned up and he said he doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, there's another rumor about him going to China. So there were all kinds of rumors, but in the end, he popped up in the best possible place you could imagine, really, given the stage that he's in his career, and at the stage of development that JDT are in with the Ducati Panigale, and they've got a new bike coming, probably in the next round.
That'd be great news for the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
But the lead now, 4.4 seconds. It went up again in the last lap. So Abe had put together a 206.1, but the next one was 206.5.
Yeah, and the fastest rider last time around was, without looking, Des?
I'm assuming Andy.
Yeah, you're right.
206.0 hasn't been able to dip into the 205s. The lead is now a race high 4.8 seconds.
Yeah, at this stage of the race, 205s are probably just beyond the capability of the tyres.
And there hasn't been an awful lot of racing, so tyre degradation won't necessarily come into play. Nobody was brave, so daft enough to go with soft compounds.
No, certainly not. And the hard front medium rear is the official recommendation from Dunlop. This is a good race from Quito Abe.
Yeah, he's held Zakon up. He's held Zakwan very much at bay. Nazri Hakim is having to work double overtime at the moment.
Yes, he is.
There's Arbe in P2 for the Hark Pro team. Again, he's been regular 206s, low to mid 206s, right the way through, so he's hitting his marks. And this is where practice can be so crucial when you're in this kind of practice qualification zone. Where's the best place on the road to be?
Yeah, really big props to Kito Abe. STG were saying earlier that every time they hit a straight, the Ducati jumps away by half a second.
Lant West was saying he reckons he loses a second on the straight.
On each straight, yeah. And the lap times tell the story. I'm sure that's no exaggeration.
Abe leans into the corner. Sure, he's not given up the possibility of Hafiz having a nightmare. But Hafiz is a full straightaway, can afford a mistake or two. 5 seconds now the lead. And so we focus on the second of the JDT Ducatis, who's into P2, into P4, and has Zakwan in his sights.
4 laps to go. Okay, last time around, and he did a 206.3. Yeah, so it's still half a second difference in lap times between Zakwan and Andy. So a double podium for JDT is on the cards right at this moment. And Andy Farid would dearly love that in his debut.
He's working hard, he's closing in on Zakwan. Zakwan's a competitor, but sometimes against raw speed, it's difficult just to respond. This is Andy Farid Izdihar on his Ducati, on his JDT debut. JDT, short for Johor Darul Taksim. The investment come from the south of Malaysia. And it's an Indonesian who is looking for P3, looking for a double podium for JDT, looking to make a real statement on race number 1 of the season.
Well, these are both Asia Road Racing Championship champions from not many years gone by. In the case of Zakwan, he won 2 Super Sports when that was the blue ribboned class, and an ASB title in 2022.
Surely only a matter of time now, though.
Yeah.
For Andy Farid. Leans on the inside, looks for a tighter line. Zakwan will make it as hard as he can. But you do sense that Zakwan is fighting a losing battle here, because the acceleration, the power through this straight as they go through, and Andy Farid Izdihar eases his way into P3.
Yeah, no surprise there, and that was a quick lap. That was the quickest of anybody out on track currently. And there we are, it's predictable. What a shame.
And impressive.
Yeah, very impressive on a debut on the Ducati.
Now, Arbe, 2.5 seconds in 3 laps. That would be impressive.
Yeah, that's not going to happen unless Abe makes a slip, and Kito has been so consistent.
He has in his own race. It's been a very good race. He'll be aware that Hafiz got off to such a flyer, was a 2.5 seconds clear, 2 seconds clear inside 2 laps, and hasn't looked back. He hasn't made any mistakes since then. Look at the JDT pit crew on the pit wall, bottom left of your screen. They know that the hard work they put in last year and the changes they've made, plus the new bike to come, they are strong favourites for this title.
Yeah, and they haven't done it the easy way. They've really had to work hard to get themselves to this position and to be in this position at the start of just their 3rd season is really quite an achievement in itself. As well as signing this rider.
Three laps to go. 55. P1 plus 5 seconds. That doesn't mean take it easy. I mean, oh, maybe it is. Settle down.
Well, I'm sure Hafiz will make his own tactical decisions.
He doesn't need to make anything. 5.5 seconds it is now. Arbe will just be aware that Andy Farid is closing in. But surely you can't make up that 1.8 seconds in 2 laps.
No, it would take an error from Quito.
0.7 of a second on the last lap. You make this a 15-lap race and it becomes feasible.
Yes. Yeah, we've said that so many times. If you make it a 20-lap race, then you could really put your money on Andy for the championship.
Arbe, in the meantime, he's been very consistent. Whereas his last lap, another 206.8. He's just dipped out the mid 206s into the low 206s. Behind them, Zakwan has been able to keep Azroy Hakim at bay, the Idemitsu Honda. Although, to be fair, the gap is only 0.3 of a second between Azroy and Zakwan. So Azroy might want to take a little bit of glory over his teammate.
Further down the field, we've got Adam Norodin and Rocco Sessler having a little battle between themselves.
And Watanabe and West are still going hell for leather with each other.
Yeah, so those guys are having a good time. Further back,
Rami Abdul Wahab has just gone through the start-finish line as coming round for going into the final lap is Hafiz Syahrin Abdullah for JDT Racing.
Yeah, the photographers in pit lane gathering around the JDT pit crew. Still 5.37 seconds.
He's very close to lapping Chan Chingrong inside 14 laps. There's the difference between the top guys and Chan, who are the best of the next level.
Yeah, I mean, they're quick riders, but more of the gentleman racer variety. And yeah, I mean, good luck to them.
Hafiz Syahrin, it's almost a lap of honour in the race itself. The lead has been cut to 5.2 seconds. For the first time, Quito Arbe has been able to put in a faster lap. Reduced it by 0.1 of a second. Andy Farid has closed within 2 seconds, 1.8 seconds of Quito.
Yeah. Yeah, so Hafiz has eased off just a little. But the fastest rider on track for the last 5 or 6 laps has been his teammate, Andy Farid Izdihar. And a double podium. Well, that would have been a dream at the start of the season.
Yeah, demoralising for the rest of the crews. They've got work to do, not only for tomorrow, but also to get yourselves in position for Buriram. As eases off with almost a wheelie. Hafiz Syahrin Abdullah. Well, his pit crew are happily waiting just to see him make this final turn. It has been faultless from Hafiz. It's been start to finish. There was a brilliant start from Lachlan Epis, but Hafiz held him at bay, and he goes over. First place for the defending champion, Quito Arbe in P2, a double podium for JDT Racing. Azroy Hakim indeed gets the better of Zakwan Zaidi, and Chip Nakarin comes through in P6. But that is a magnificent performance, a dominating performance by JDT Racing Team.
Absolutely fantastic. The hard work, the heavy lifting that JDT have done in the past 2 seasons has really paid off. And in the last week, nobody in this category has been able to hold a torch to Hafiz Syahrin. They celebrate jointly. It could be that Andy Farid is the more delighted of those 2 riders, actually. He just needs to get the hang of getting that Panigale off the line for tomorrow. Flag of Johor, clutched again by Hafiz. Which flag is Andy gonna fly?
The JDT Racing Team flag.
Ah, okay, yeah, good move.
Yes. Let's get the brand out as well as the state.
Yeah, that's just too perfect. Well, there's a shot for the album.
And the challenge, the gauntlet has been thrown down to Honda, to SDG Harkbro, to Idemitsu Honda, to Astra Honda.
Yeah. And Honda Racing Thailand, who just missed out last season by 3 points to Hafiz.
Finish slowing down Hafiz Syahrin Abdullah. Just 4 seconds in the end. It was as high as 5.5 seconds. Kito Abe, a consistent race for him in P2 for SDG Harkbro Honda Philippines. Andy Farid is the half for JDT Racing. He was closing in on Kito Abe. Truly, you give that another couple of laps and he would be challenging. Azroy Hakim Anwar winning the Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia battle ahead of Zakwan Zaidi, who was competitive and lost places in the last 2 laps. Nakarina Tirupuvapad from Honda Racing Thailand, 16 seconds off the pace. Adananto Putra's debut, bike number 88, in 7th place for Astra Honda Racing. Rocco Sessler was closing in on Adananto Putra. Again, Rocco can be happy with 8 points, the teenage German. Adam Noradin on the Suzuki. It's good to see the Suzuki. It's good to see Adam Noradin be a wild card or a number of races that we see from him. Watanabe for Aprilia. Just holding off Ant West for the Yamaha. That was pretty tight, 7 tenths between those 2 for 10th, 11th. Joe Francis was outgunned for the Victor Racing Team on the Yamaha, 1 minute down. And then Fahmi Abdul Wahab, Chan Ching Rong were 1 lap down, and Lachlan Epis, fabulous start. That will be in the highlights from Lachlan Epis, and just a mistake from him. But this has been a quick weekend for the Swift Grow Racing Team. Stay on the bike, finish, get some points, Lachlan. It's so important.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, Rocco lapping in the 207s all the way through. Couldn't have asked really for more than that.
Watanabe and West in the high 208s. Well, that was a good individual battle, but obviously this is utterly dominated by the power, you must say, of the JDT Racing Team. So the rain never did materialize. The wind came. No doubt as we make our way home, the rain will start belting down. But
oh dear,
there's the
something has gone wrong. Finally, something didn't go to plan.
There happens to be a spare.
They've got another one, of course they have.
Well, it was a very traumatic, emotional season last year for JDT. This looks almost, well, such a dominant performance in the first race of the season. You do wonder how and if the others can respond.
Yeah. Andy Farid Izdihar. Andy Gilang comes into the pits with P3 in the bag, and the flag flying, still flying. So they're going to be especially happy with that, I think. That flag now looks like a weapon in the hands of Hafiz.
It was the only thing that went wrong for Hafiz Syahrin today. Right the way from qualifying, fast as you like, yen. And listening to, well, the fans, there aren't as many JDT fans as normal. But certainly his teammates are very much in support. So what can the rest do, Barry Russell?
I think they're asking themselves that question. Even after yesterday, that question was being asked by his main rivals. I heard as I wandered around after free practice yesterday. And they're concerning themselves as well with the new twin swing arm Ducatis coming through. Possibly, probably for Buriram. So let's go to Daniel, who is in Parc Fermé, waiting to speak to our podium finishers.
P3 in the ASB1000 race, Andy Farid for the first time in the Ducati of the JDT racing team. Andy, I think we all know that you have great race pace, and I think that was truly the display of it. You were so fast towards the end. How did you manage the tires all the way at such a low pace?
Yeah, I'm very happy with this podium, this reward for my team, hard work. But I'm really sorry. I also disappointed that I didn't make a good start in the first, and then I have a mistake in the turn one. I overshoot and lose so much position. So step by step, I recover, and finally we are here. And let's see how it's going about the setup and everything, and prepare more ready for tomorrow. Thank you.
Can't wait to see you. Congratulations, Andy.
Thank you so much.
And in P2, after 14 laps of the ASB1000 race, we have Kito Abe from SDG Hart Pro Honda. Let's try to get Kito over here. Kito looks probably tired after that race. It's a few more laps compared to how we previously run in the ASB1000s. So Kito, the pace didn't look too bad. I think mid-race pace you started getting quite consistent, but again towards the end it was already a bit quite a distance. So tell us what happened in that race and what do you think you can do for tomorrow?
Yeah, so this race is in the beginning, so I mistake the start and I tried to push and I want to catch in Happy Syahrin, but I cannot, impossible. But tomorrow, so I can get the good data, so I try to thinking, and maybe tomorrow we get the more improve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kito. Congratulations and good luck for tomorrow. And race winner in race one of round one here at the Sepang International Circuit, none other than the 2025 champion Hafiz Syahrin for JDT Racing Team. We're just going to pull Hafiz over for a quick chat about the ASB1000 race one. So Hafiz, big congratulations to you. That was a proper statement, but the thing is your consistency. I think it was the first 3 laps, 2057, and then after that, maintaining very low 206. Tell us, how did you manage to maintain the bike all the way through like that?
I still not happy a little bit with my pace because I try to make the 05 middle and then keep 05 high, but I can be happy because when I see the first lap already make a huge gap, and then I just try to see where I can improve by my own pace, and I think I understand where we can improve a little bit more for tomorrow, because even now it's quite good, but don't keep relaxed because the opponent will come for tomorrow, sure. So I will be ready for more tomorrow, because actually I don't feel good, you know, with my condition. I feel tired after the qualifying. I don't know why. I lose a lot of water in my body, and my heart rate spiked to 206 in qualifying. So I cannot eat, and I feel like want to vomit. But when in the race, I try to be. I speak with myself, try to relax, enjoy, and now the result pay off. 1-3 and for the team, and yeah, very good start. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hafiz. Big congratulations.
Thank you.
Race 1 of the season of the Superbikes Championship at the Asian Road Racing Championships. Hafiz Syahrin on pole position. Andy Farid is a high-profile move. Have a look at the start from Lachlan Epis, bite 83 on the right of your screen there. Fires his way very, very close to the front. And in many ways, although it was a great start for Lachlan, it was a shield as well for Hafiz Syahrin by Russell.
Yeah, it was. But this was such a determined performance from Lachlan. It's just such a shame that he couldn't stay on the pace. And it was a bit of a break for Hafiz, no doubt.
2.5 seconds he was clear at the end of lap number 2. And then Lachlan loses out to Kita Abe and to Zakwan Zaidi, which I think we expected, but he was able to hold on. He was still holding on to P4. In many ways, Lachlan was the story. We knew that JDT would be powerful. Then Lachlan became the story for the wrong reason.
Yeah, he was out high side, but looked as though he bounced okay. So he'll be back another day. Oof, bike clonked him as he went over as well.
Hopefully he'll be all right. We haven't heard anything untoward, which we normally do. In the meantime, Hafiz Syahrin was posting quick lap times. 2:05s, high 2:05s, low 2:06s. Behind him, he was ticking 2-3 tenths of a second quicker than Kita Wabo, who himself was quicker than everybody else on the track.
Yeah, this really was a good performance from Quito. We thought Zakwan would run close to Quito, but he wasn't able to hold the pace. And in the end, he wasn't able to hold off Azroy.
Andy Farid on his Ducati debut for the JDT Racing Team. This is the time that he moves himself into P3 ahead of Zakwan Zaidi. Zakwan would actually go backwards and would lose another place to the number 20 behind them. But just easing the grunt, the pace they've got on the long straights, that is what marks these Ducatis out.
Yeah, it's the way they come out of the corners that really punishes the Hondas. And there they are, the celebration. His last lap was a 2:08.4.
Slowing down, have a look at this.
Yeah.
Slowing down, it's almost a celebration. Well, it is a celebration beforehand. Wins by 4 seconds, slowing down. It is the statement that they wanted to make. There are 11 races still to go. You don't win anything on the first round of the season.